Well, hello there. And welcome back to the Fantasy Workshop. How's that for a classic intro? This is a microscope from the 18th century. And if you ask me, this could come straight from a wizard study. This microscope, also known as a screw barrel microscope, is estimated to have been built around the 1750s. Now it is up to me to use modern technologies to build a fitting stand for it, copied from a sketch of the original design in this book. I made a quick model and 3D print to see if the proportions are correct. I will make a separate little prototype for how I'm going to mount the microscope to the stand. So let me just go ahead and make that small little prototype. Drilled the hole in so many steps. I still got tear out. Luckily, this is a prototype, not the final product. For now, I fixed the little tear out with a little chamfer on both sides. I think it actually looks very nice, and it should make it easier to insert the brass tube. Now it is time to take this first prototype to the customer. Wood is nice, but together with the customer we decided to go for a 3D printed stand. The base of the stand will still be out of wood, but all of the other elements will be 3D printed with wood PLA. When it comes to effort versus reward, I think going for 3D printed parts is a very good choice. With the wood PLA, the overall look should still look like wood, obviously, but it's a lot quicker to do. This here is the first prototype in which I already sculpted the entire design. Let me give you a little closer view of the 3D model that I created. As you can see, it now has all of the final details and is ready to be printed using the wood PLA. So what is next is to create the wooden base on which we can mount everything, and also the little mirror which will go on this. So that's what I'm gonna do next. Time for round 2. Let's see if the customer is happy with this. Good news, he seemed very happy with it. I'm happy with it. So now it's time to make the final version. And the 3D print is already going at home, which will be done out of PLA wood. First time I'm using that, that's pretty exciting. I have a little test piece, but that's for later. Right now I want to focus on the base for the microscope stand, and for that I need a nice piece of oak. This is the bit of oak that I want to go for. I think it's in the same saturation area as the PLA wood, so that's really good. Because it's not thick enough yet, I want to make it in two parts. One small part and one slightly bigger, that I can eventually stack them on top. So I'm going to start by cutting these two shapes out, and then we can take it from there. Because I want the total height of the base to be around 27 millimeters, I need to make one of the two pieces a little bit thinner. And since my thickness is currently looking like that, I'm using my makeshift jig that should hopefully do the same job as a thickness, albeit with a little bit more work. Alright, the 3D print is done, and I am really happy with it. I'm gonna give you a close-up. The PLA wood looks amazing. Next step is to sand this to a nice smooth finish. Then I can think about how I'm gonna attach it to the base, which is not entirely done yet, so I need to do that as well. I need to glue the base together. Maybe I'll start with gluing the base together. Alright, I am extremely happy with how this is turning out, but now it's time for some precision work. I have to drill a hole in here that will allow for the microscope to be attached there. But it needs to be an exact 90-degree angle to the base. So for that, I modeled some very tiny jigs that I can put on there, and that should give the drill the correct angle. I really hope that's going to work. I will show you more close up now that I'm going to drill it. As far as I can tell by eye, that turned out really good. So here I went to the customer to test everything now that we have the final versions ready. We are testing the weight of everything and check how the wood PLA has turned out. A very important step in the process now is to find the exact location of the mirror. It has to be directly underneath the microscope so that the light will be able to shine right into it. Alright, so I came back from the customer and I think that went really well. The fit of the microscope was pretty good and we found the location for the mirror. So now it's time for me to make a little recess with the router and then I can attach the mirror. And I think then it's almost time for finishing. Honestly, this was such a cool project to work on. The combination of wood with 3D printing and doing all of this for such an amazing and beautiful looking object, it's what I like to do the most. And if you enjoyed watching this as much as I did creating it, then please like, leave a comment and most important of all, subscribe to my channel to see a lot more of this in the future. But for now, let me show you the final result.